So this next one is going to be a little more of a challenge because I have an absolute value which has to be written as a piece function. So of course I get to drop the bars if the inside stuff is positive, and I'm going to have to check and see when is this positive, or it could be equal to 0. And of course it factors, and so I have two values, x equals 1, x equals 3, could actually equal those, and I'm going to need to test. So let's see, if I test 0 and I plug it in, I'll have a negative times a negative, which is a positive. So I want to keep that. If I test 2, I'll have a negative times a positive, which is a negative. That doesn't work. If I test 4, I'll end up with a positive times a positive, which is positive, so greater than 0, so that works. So this stuff all holds if x is less than or equal to 1 or greater than or equal to 3. And so the other part of the piece, of course, I'll have to negate the whole thing, which means I'll be changing all the signs. And that's going to work when it's negative. So that's going to be when x is between 1 and 3, not letting it be equal to them, since I've already used equal in the upper part of the piece. Okay, so now that means I'm going to have to separate again every time there is a spot where the graph is changing from the upper function to the lower function. So since I'm going from 0 to 4, the 0 to 1, less than 1 stuff, I would be, so from 0 to 1, I would be using this upper equation. And then when I go to the next piece, that would be everything in this region from 1 to 3. I would have to use this formula. I'm just going to distribute the negative now and be done with it. Plus, then I have to get all the way up to 4, so everything greater than 3, I would be back to the original, the top formula. So from 3 to 4, I'll be back to using x squared minus 4x plus 3. Okay, so go ahead and see if you can now work through all the arithmetic for these pieces after you've integrated. So hopefully you were able to take the antiderivatives okay, and you got all your signs correct and all that good stuff. And so now you need to start plugging in and doing the subtraction part for each piece. Remember, you're going to substitute in 1 and then subtract substituting in 0. And here you're going to substitute in 3 and subtract substituting in 1. And here you're going to substitute in 4 and subtract substituting in 3. So pause and see if you can do that correctly. So hopefully you were able to get all the way to 4. Okay, we'll do the next one on a new video.